I don't have the orange shirt today. I was doing something else, but here to represent Zonta, of course. We always enjoy being able to come out and talk to everybody. So I'm a medical doctor, so I really kind of married the topic of violence against women and to show that it is quite a health issue. And in fact, some people call it a health crisis in the sense that we don't realize that so many things are related to violence against women. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
This was working, but I'm not sure. There we go. So try to make it short. We'll do a quick introduction, look at the risk factors, the consequences in terms of health, prevention strategies, and then I threw in some general health tips because it's always good to know those things. And then we just kind of summarize. All right, so the World Health Organization says that violence against women is a public health problem, but it can be prevented. The United Nations defines violence against women as any act of gender-based violence that results in or is likely to result in physical, sexual, or mental harm or suffering to women, including such acts of coercion, arbitrary deprivation of liberty, whether occurring in public or in private life. There's different types of violence that they recognize. We're going to separate into two: intimate partner violence, which refers to any behavior by a close partner, someone that you know, or an ex, a boyfriend, a husband, or whoever. And that could be physical, sexual, psychological, any kind of physical aggression, sexual coercion, psychological abuse, or very controlling behaviors that affect health. And of course, sexual violence, which is any act to obtain sexual acts or favors from someone that directly is against that person's will. And any person, regardless of their relationship to that victim in any setting, could be engaging in sexual violence. And this includes rape, of course, which is defined as physical force or otherwise coerced penetration, and any attempts at rape or unwanted sexual touching of any form, any kind of contact that's unwarranted. So worldwide, women face violence worldwide, and they say as high as 1 in 3 women and girls experience physical or sexual violence in their lifetime. Most of this is going to be intimate partner violence, so it's really coming from people that they may feel comfortable with or know or have a relationship with. And 71% of human trafficking victims worldwide are women and girls. 3 out of 4 of these women and girls are sexually exploited. So I forgot the movie's name, but there was recently a movie out that really looked at this whole idea of child sex trafficking and trafficking in general. And so most of those victims are going to be young girls, children, and women. Touching a little bit at home, they did a study about would you approve a husband hitting a wife or not? And as you can see across the region, the Bahamas actually scored quite high. 7.7% actually approved, which was the 3rd highest in the region. So we have to look at where that mindset is coming from, where we have such a, it doesn't sound like a large number, but if you think about it, that means almost 8 out of every 100 of those guys that were spoken to actually thought it was okay to hit a woman if she did something that they thought was wrong. So we have a little issue here. Okay, violence against women. There are multiple risk factors for that. Community factors, looking at just the thought of a woman's rights and autonomy. You have to look at poverty and unemployment being high factors involved in that, violence and crime rates in the community itself, and the availability of mind-altering drugs, alcohol, weapons, those types of things. So the environment really is a big part of it. We look at society factors, the laws, the policies that we have in place, the educational level, and how well we're enforcing those laws. And we have a problem in the Bahamas where we do maybe have some laws on the book, but how well are we enforcing them? How seriously are we taking them? Especially when we look at gender-based violence. So gender discrimination also, how we interact as males and females and what that looks like and policies and all that stuff. Interpersonal factors, inequalities in relationships. If you have like a very male-controlled relationship or a lot of dependence on that partner, we find that there's an increased risk for violence. Also, men who are in multiple sexual relationships, and so sometimes as a part of the control so that they can do what they want to do, sometimes partners will be violent with the other partner, or maybe that partner doesn't agree with what they're doing, and so they have to now force themselves on that partner. And also persons who use drugs, harmful alcohol, also are going to be more likely to inflict some type of violence. And then we look at individual factors, really the upbringing, the childhood, your childhood, whether you were around violence, accepting of violence in any way. Is there any mental disorders that